I'd especially like to welcome a number of legislators and government officials who are joining us here today. We'd like to welcome Jake Winder from Senator Wayne Schmidt's office. We'd certainly like to welcome Jamie Clover Adams from Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development. Keith Cray is here from the DNR. And Jim Goodhart is representing MDEQ. Jim, are you in the house? All right, welcome. Thank you. Several of our Michigan State University leaders are also with us here this afternoon. Provost Hewitt. Dean Poston is here. I'd also like to take a moment to thank today's sponsors, Consumers Energy and Detroit Edison, who sponsor one of our awards and make contributions to the scholarship fund every year. Would representatives from Consumers Energy or DTE stand and be recognized? I'd also like to recognize our Michigan FFA state officers. Among them, the many long-standing programs that happen this week is the Michigan FFA State Convention. Students, we wish you the best with your convention. Are you here? Well, they have something else going on this week. They have their convention, so they need to leave. So for that reason, we'd like to present one award before they need to get back to their activities. Before Provost Hewitt and Dean Poston address us, we'd like to give out the Outstanding Agriculture Educator of the Year Award. This year, we're trying to do something new with our awards. We're going to give you an overview of the award, and then you will hear from the nominator about why he or she nominated this person on the video screens that are around the room. And to present the Outstanding Agriculture Educator of the Year, please welcome Carolyn Bloodworth, Director of Corporate Giving at Consumers Energy.
Thank you. The Outstanding Agriculture Educator of the Year Award has been presented each year since 1956 and is sponsored through generous support from Consumers Energy and DTE Energy. This award is presented to a Michigan agriculture, food, and natural resources teacher who has been active in their community, region, and state in promoting the National FFA organization's vision to grow leaders, build communities, and strengthen agriculture. It is my honor to present Jason Griffiths with this award.
I'm Randy Showerman, and I nominated Jason Griffith for the FFA and Agriculture Education Teaching Award. Jason is a teacher at the Heartland Institute of Technology in Ionia, Michigan. Jason's had tremendous impact on students at the local, state, and national level. Over the past years, Jason's had numerous students that have moved into the agriculture industry onto Michigan State University to receive degrees in agriculture. Jason deserves this award because of the dedication, enthusiasm, and personal heart to serve as an FFA advisor and as an agriculture, food, and natural resources teacher.
Did you hear me? This is Jason Griffiths. Please welcome and congratulate Jason Griffiths.
Thank you. I'd just like to take a moment to thank all of my teachers, Randy Showerman, and the past teachers that I've had, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here today. So thank you very much.
Several of our partner groups are with us today, including representatives of local government, industry organizations, business and commodity groups who offer strong support for our college and for MSU. members of our Stakeholders Advisory Board, and our State Council and College of Ag and Natural Resources Alumni Board, I'd like to thank you all for being here. Now it's time for me to introduce Dean Poston.
If I managed to get myself at the right place in the program, instead of saying we're adjourned, that would be a little upsetting for everybody. Well, welcome to the ANR Week Luncheon. It's in my pleasure to introduce someone. I've had a lot of experience introducing her over the years. Usually she's sitting in the audience, so rather than peel off her many academic accomplishments, which get to be a little dry, I would usually tell something at least I thought was humorous. And sometimes she did too. And she would have an opportunity to jab me back if she wanted. It sort of takes the fun out of it if she's not here to hear it. So she could not be here today. She wanted to desperately, but we hope she's on an airplane someplace between California and here, and she has a full schedule she's got to take care of. And so what she did was record a video for all of us.
I'm really sorry I can't join you today. I'm unfortunately on my way back from California on a development swing, and I wanted, though, to make sure that by technology I congratulate our honorees for their contributions to agriculture in Michigan and Michigan State University. I also want to welcome all of our partners. You know, Michigan State is 160 years old this year, and the last 100, the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources with Extension and Ag Bio Research have welcomed people to Ag Week, ANR Week. I can remember being on campus and seeing all the tractors and everything as I arrived in 1970, and understanding the importance that this week has, not simply as the individual sessions, but as the importance for us each year to celebrate this extraordinary partnership. Agriculture, food systems, food security is never more important than it is today. As the world faces the population growth, increasing challenges that go with the safety and security of the food supply, water, energy, all of those things. This is an extraordinary opportunity for MSU in Michigan, not simply to be one of many, but to be the food university for the world and for Michigan, leveraging our knowledge and experience and our networks and partnerships to serve society. Like the Art Deco carving of the sower on the entrance of Beaumont Tower, we plant the seeds of knowledge today for tomorrow's harvest, whether in the field or in the laboratory. It was really important to do this video piece in your otherwise crowded program, that I could recognize the extraordinary contributions of Fred Poston. Now, I got to know Fred when he was Vice Provost and Dean, and the energy and the enthusiasm he brought to the role, but also the way in which he was able to weave the important roles of the academic programs, extension, and experiment station at that time into a really important, coherent whole, not simply for agriculture or the industry, but for the entire university. In the interim, Fred made some extraordinarily valuable contributions to the university in a role that I don't think Fred imagined himself playing, and probably many of you in the audience. But now Fred was willing to come back to the college at a time where we needed regrounding, recentering, renewal of that important spirit that's animated Michigan State University and its partnership with Michigan Agriculture, food systems over very, very many years. And that renewed energy, that renewed enthusiasm across all dimensions of the college and its partnership with other colleges will set the stage, I think, for a future that's so bright because of what, Fred, you've done and your staff and the way in which you've rallied that team. So I want to thank you publicly for that, and also to extend my thanks to all who have been involved as we've tried to handle the re-engineering, the refuturing of MSU Extension and Ag Bio research. It's never easy under these economic circumstances, but people have really pulled together. Team MSU, in its full dimensions, not simply of those individuals who have green paychecks, but all of us together to create this better future for the people of Michigan through food and food systems, through agriculture and agricultural production. So thank you very much to Fred, and a special thank you, but also thanks to all of you for being such an important part of Team MSU.
Well, I'm going to drive Eileen mad at this point by deviating from the script just for a moment. Everybody's been really kind to me and telling me how glad they were that I came back and all of the great things. The reality of it is we all have great people in the state and in the university. They had managed to get themselves crossways by some method I still don't quite understand, but true to form, they came back together. I'm the one that ought to be thanking you, because here the old fire horse had a chance to pull the wagon one more time. And it was a lot of fun. But we need a dean that's going to come in with a lot of new ideas. Mine are old. Not as old as Kudowa, but they're getting there, okay? And we need fresh ideas and go new places in agriculture in the state. And so I'm really excited, and with if everything goes to plan the way the provost has planned, this time next year we should have someone else standing here. I hope. So we'll see. Thank you for that. As President Simon said, this is the 100th year of ANR Week. There were 2 years that they did not hold it, once in each of the world wars, and it's been going ever since. It's a celebration of all the good work that we do in the state and in the college, and relative importance of agriculture to Michigan. And so collectively, we're all sort of celebrating our good work. There are 3 individuals this year who are recognized at the All University Awards convocation last month. Lisa Bottomley is an MSU Extension educator in Children Youth Institute. She received the Distinguished Academic Staff Award. The Distinguished Academic Staff Award recognizes the outstanding achievements of those professionals who serve the university in advising, curricular development, outreach, extension, research, and teaching. The other 2 recipients received the William J. Beal Outstanding Faculty Award. They are Dr. Scott Swinton in the Department of Agricultural, Food, and Resource Economics, and Dr. Rebecca Grummett, Professor of the Department of Horticulture. The Beal Award is a university-level award that recognizes comprehensive and sustained record of scholarly excellence in research and/or creative activities, instruction, and outreach. Rebecca and Lisa unfortunately couldn't be with us today, but Scott was able to join us. And Scott, would you stand and receive congratulations again? Now I get to do something I didn't have as many opportunities to do, and that's to present the provost of Michigan State University. I've known her for a long time. I worked with her on and off over the years. I've always really been impressed with her and appreciate her. She also has a very long list of credentials that she begged me not to read, and the whole thing. I would just say she has a great sense of humor, I hope. We were at a function the other night, and a nice function the other night, and her husband, Charlie, and if you know Charlie, he's one of our outstanding economists in the state. and he has a great sense of humor. We were all standing there talking about things. We were talking about how well June was doing as provost, and he kept telling us how calm and easygoing and everything was. And I was sort of thinking about a meeting I had with her last week, and that wasn't the way I remembered it. And it suddenly dawned on me, they haven't been married too long, that Charlie hadn't managed to push just that right button yet. Boy, he's got a big surprise coming. I would ask Provost Hugh to come to the stand and share a few remarks.
Well, the difference is Charlie is not always asking me for one more faculty member. That's the difference. But before I begin, I want to join Luana in thanking Dr. Poston for his work. And he can say that he needs to thank us and all the rest, but I know that you all so appreciate what he has done. And it's not about all the things we do. It's not about the activities of the day. Often, leadership is really about the integrity that you bring to the office and the ways in which you interact with people, the ways in which you make a commitment and then you follow through on it. And that has really characterized these last years of Fred's leadership in the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources. What he says he does, who he is who he is. He's built a team around him who have the same philosophy. So I am so appreciative. And he really left the podium before he started his storytelling, because this is the 100th anniversary, and Fred could have told us about those early years of this event. But don't mess with me, Fred.
You're better than the president.
But anniversaries are fun times to reflect. And when I think about all of us sitting here, and I think about those who gathered 100 years ago in a place, not this place, but in a place, and celebrated what they had done and shared their successes and learned from each other, could they have imagined where we would be today and what we would be doing. They could not have imagined our technology, our science, and yet how much of what we do is really similar in so many ways to what those early people did when they gathered here. We think now, for example, of how STEM-oriented our work is, our agriculture and natural resources work, and yet I happen to know, having been the daughter and the granddaughter and the great-granddaughter of farmers, that they did indeed know quite a lot about science and the technology of the time, and they did in fact depend on mathematics. Now, in the case of our family farm, they were really little numbers in mathematics, but I assure you that my dad was very good at managing the mathematics of the place, or I would not have ever been able to be at Michigan State University. And so while we now think about the ways in which we need to prepare this next generation of students in the STEM disciplines in order to be successful in the field, we certainly come from a legacy of that. 100 years ago, many more people, a percentage of our population, were engaged in the work that you all are engaged in today in some ways. And yet, the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources is enjoying its largest enrollment in 40 years because people see the opportunities there are. They see not only the opportunities for wonderful careers, but for really meaningful work, for work that will matter to them, to their state, and to the world. I think it's interesting that while we are in a world now of technology and communications that 100 years ago no one could have imagined, yet the work that many of you are engaged in is much more mysterious today than it was 100 years ago, because people don't know how you do what you do. They don't know where the stuff they eat comes from, and they can't imagine how it is that people are able to get it from farm to fork. And so the importance of our work, the romance of the work, really continues. And Michigan State University's college continues. We continue in our strong tradition of research and teaching and outreach, in our mission to translate basic research to work that actually matters. Our tradition of giving back to real people in real communities to solve real problems. And as President Simon said, it's even more true today that the College of Agricultural and Natural Resources is central to Michigan State University. Because when we think about the global challenges, the grand challenges that have to be solved in the next years, if we are going to be not just a prosperous state and nation, but a prosperous world, the college is at the center of those, of dealing with the questions of food and energy and environment, not unlike those who gathered here 100 years ago. So I want to thank those here today, those of you who are leaders in the field. Thank you so much for being a partner and letting MSU partner with you. We really strive to be a good partner, to step up and provide the kind of support that you need, the kind of research that is useful to you, and when we can, the kind of education and outreach that is helpful. Alums, thank you. You continue to contribute in ways that is astounding and that really create so much pride for the college. It is wonderful when I read through the booklet of those who are being honored today, but those many of you who I have known from years gone by, to think about all that you've done and the ways in which you have changed your communities, your families, and the lives of people, not just in the state, but nationally and internationally. Thank you for your work and the way that you've carried on the work of the college. For the students who are here, thank you for stepping out and stepping into this work. You will do it differently. You will find ways, you will make discoveries, you will have techniques, you will use engineering and science in ways that we can't imagine here today. And you'll do it in the same ways, for the same reasons that those who gathered 100 years ago did, because it's important work, it's work that must be done, and it's work with which you can have great pride today and the rest of your lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean Poston and Provost Hewitt. I'd like to take a moment. Special recognition is due to all of our nominators who've given letters of support and videos for today's recipients of the awards. It takes a lot of work to nominate someone for an award like this, and we'd like to thank you for the time that you've done to recommend our awardees today. Would all of our current College of Ag and Natural Resource Alumni Association board members, anyone that's in the house, please stand and be recognized. Thank you for your efforts in fundraising and bringing in the dollars for our students and for sponsoring events that engage our alumni, stakeholders, and students. If everyone would take a look at page 22 of the program, you can see some of our past and present contributors to the College of Ag and Natural Resources Alumni Association. Now we'd like to recognize all of our past alumni board members. Please stand to be recognized for the work that you have done and continue to do so on behalf of the college. We thank you. Past board members in the house? Thank you. Each year, the Alumni Association honors individuals who demonstrate the highest commitment to their careers and to the college with distinguished faculty, outstanding alumni, and alumni service awards. At this time, we'd like to present the College of Ag and Natural Resources Association Alumni Association Awards. The College of Ag and Natural Resources Distinguished Faculty Award recognizes a faculty member who's brought distinction to the college through teaching, research, or outreach, and has provided leadership that has helped our students, faculty, or citizens reach their potential for excellence. This year's recipient is Dr. Rick Brandenburg.
Hi, I'm Kelly Millenbaugh, and I nominated Richard Brandenburg for the Distinguished Faculty Award. And one of the things that I most appreciate about Rick is that he has the best interest of our students our faculty and staff front and center in everything that he does and how he advances the college. If you've ever watched him work with a student, we've had students come into our office who've been very upset about issues and really need some guidance, and they walk out satisfied and settled. And again, that's just a true testament to Rick's ability to work with our students and our faculty in helping them be productive in the roles that they have at the university.
Please welcome Dr. Rick Brandenburg.
Well, thank you. It's been my privilege to work for MSU and for the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources for a good many years now. The work has been easy because of the students and the staff and the faculty. I find it very satisfying and rewarding. And today, I really thank the Alumni Association for recognizing my contributions over the years. I also want to thank all the folks who are here today and supported me and actually make my work ever so much easier than I thought it ever would be. So thank you again, and I appreciate the honor.
The Outstanding Young Alumnus Award is given to an individual who demonstrates a commitment to MSU and the College of Ag and Natural Resources by continuing outstanding volunteer service on behalf of the university or shows leadership in a public service on a local, state, or national level. I'm proud to announce that this year's recipient is Travis Key.
I'm Cheryl Gilliam, and I nominated Travis Key for the Young Alumnus Award. Well, Travis was number 13 during his years on the football field, and he was a walk-on. And from that position, by the time he made it to his senior year, his teammates voted him team captain. Now that's Travis, the man, as an athlete. But Travis was a scholar athlete. He went here and he picked up a bachelor's degree at the School of Packaging, as well as a master's degree there. And he's taken that to the next level, where he's going out into the community and he's teaching young men the importance of putting student first and student athlete. And he's continuing that work at Kellogg, where he's employed, and he's mentoring kids there. He's mentoring kids in the community. And he still is working with the School of Packaging as well. So he's the complete package.
Please welcome Travis Key.
I'd just like to thank everyone for your attendance today, and I want to send a special thanks to Cheryl, who wasn't able to be here today. She received some recognition from our employer Kellogg this past week, which is well deserved for her efforts within the diversity inclusion department within our company. So just want to send a special thanks to her. But I'd like to just thank my wife and my family, all of the professors that I had here at Michigan State that were able to position me for success beyond this university, beyond East Lansing, which is now reflected in the work that I do at Kellogg and the work that I do in the community. So I hope to continue to earn this award. I don't think this is due to what I've done, but I think it's going to hold me accountable to continue to do what I believe that I am put on this earth to do, and that is to make a difference in the lives of the young people. So thank you.
The Alumni Service Award is given each year to a graduate who continues his or her exemplary volunteer service to MSU, the college, or meritorious public service on a local, state, national, or international level. Recipients of this award possess the highest standards of integrity and character that positively reflect the college. I'm proud to announce that this year's recipient is Robert Ford.
My name is Scott Witter. I nominated Bob Ford for the Alumni Service Award. 6 years ago, one of my colleagues, Warren Rao, and I were talking about how to establish or reestablish the Landscape Architecture Alumni Board. One of the things that immediately came to mind is that we needed a creative, established leader to do that. As we checked around with our colleagues on and off from campus, Bob Ford's name kept coming up time and time again. 6 years later, and after he's served 2 terms as president of the Alumni Board, I believe that we made an outstanding decision.
Please welcome Bob Ford.
Wasn't very nervous until I got up here, and I'm looking at all these people looking at me. This award represents many people affiliated with the MSU LA program. I am honored to accept it on their behalf. I blame Professors Tony Bauer and Warren Rao for talking me into spending the last 6 years of my life doing this type of thing, though. Actually, it was the best thing that's happened to me. I want to say Tony was my mentor, he's my partner, he's my friend, and he's my guiding light. And we use that guiding light many times coming home from taverns late at night after long meetings. Thank you, Tony. He's with us here today. President Simon said, of the 100 ideas you generate, implement 1. We did that. And we did 2 others. Current director of SPDC, Mr. Witter, who's here with us today. Scott gave us great administrative help and financial support to get us started, and we really appreciated the 2 faculty that he put with me to help, and that's Dr. Crawford and Dr. Trish McNamara. Thank you so much. Dr. Witter said, strive to be world class. I didn't really know what that meant. You know, I thought about it. Everybody knows what world class is, right? Well, I didn't think I really did because I had never achieved it before and I couldn't really taste it or feel it. But the people that surrounded me did, and that was our board. Mario Chaten, the Olmsted of Central Park in Mexico, was on our speaker series that we established. Carl Johnson, founder of JJR, now the Smith Group, was one of our speakers. Ethan Carr, the real Olmsted scholar, nationally world-renowned, University of Massachusetts. Barbara Faga, vice president of AECOM, worldwide architectural engineering and landscape architectural firm, now teaches in Atlanta, Georgia University. And we continue by hosting in the fall of 2015 on the campus of Michigan State University, the researchers of WESES. Hope I pronounced that right. It's the World Scientific and Engineering Academy and Society who are based in Athens, Greece. Their members will present papers from around the world on landscape architecture, energy, natural resources, technology, computing, mathematics, design, food industry, and agriculture, sponsored by the MSU LA program. Dr. John Burley and faculty are making those arrangements now. I'd also like to give special thanks to our 15 board members who have served admirably. Pam Blau is with us here today. I don't know where Plant Pam's at, but thank you, Pam, for your dedication. Steve Troost, who is the MSU campus planner for MSU, and he is our editor of our newsletter. Angela Hicks, who did the design and layout for that publication. Deb Cooper, our 2015 president. Bob Chipman for making his annual donations that keeps us running, in part. and Mr. and Mrs. Steinquist, who made a tremendous donation to the program not too long ago. And thanks go to the absolute most supportive person in my life, who is always there to listen to me ramble on about all the things I'm going to do, and who provides me with what I call constructive criticism. All my various endeavors. My ever-loving wife and partner, in celebration of our 40th wedding anniversary, Miss Janine Lynn Ford.
Each year, we're privileged to welcome an honorary alumnus into the College of Ag and Natural Resources by way of our Honorary Alumnus Award. This award is given to a person who's provided a distinctive contribution to the college on a state, national, or international level, relieved the suffering of disadvantaged people, or contributed in any unique program that benefits humankind. I'm very pleased to announce that this year's recipient is Nancy Thalen.
I'm Matt Shane, and I nominated Nancy Thalen for the Honorary Alumnus Award. Humble is a good word for Nancy. She often works behind the scenes and puts all of the pieces together and brings the right players to the table to make things happen, and doesn't ever seek that recognition for herself, so this is a very fitting award for her. Nancy is probably one of the best representatives of what it is to be a Spartan. She's spent her career doing things to better her community and Michigan State University, and so it's a very fitting award for her to be able to be recognized for all of those accomplishments.
Nancy Thalen.
Thank you all very much. This award really has a special honor. Not too many people know this, but back in 1969, when I first applied to MSU, I declared my major as animal husbandry. And was really excited and won some scholarships for that and everything. And I get up here for orientation in the summer of '70, and Dr. Ron Nelson, who was chair of the animal science department and a family friend of ours through the cattle business, had talked to me and he said, Nancy, you really need to go into something where you'll have a career for a woman. And, go into teaching, go into home ec. And I thought, oh my gosh, And Dr. Nelson was, I had all I respected him very much. I thought, yep, I better do that. He said, Nancy, we can work it out so you can take all your electives in animal husbandry. I said, okay, that sounds okay. And, as I thought about it, there were very, very few women in 1970 that were in agriculture. I think there was one ag extension educator who was Carolyn Bay. And, as you looked around, that was right. So I majored in home ec and minor in consumer education, and then took all my electives. As a freshman, I was in the 400 level genetics class with folks like Bill Sheridan, and we made it through. John Shealy was in that class, and I loved every minute of it. But it was great. But so this award from that aspect really means a lot. But my years at MSU were wonderful. I had great mentors like Dr. Dave Hawkins, Dr. Harlan Ritchie, Larry Cotton, all folks that our paths have crossed many, many times after that. Wonderful lifetime friends. All the organizations I was involved in, still work on many programs and activities with some of those same folks with that. And then in Extension, I've had the opportunity to watch so many adults and young people grow and develop and improve the quality of their lives. And youth and agriculture has always been one of my passions. And it was just to watch those kids grow, to watch them to come to MSU and be successful, it's just all been worth all the time with that. And then I just want to thank my family, because without them, none of this would have been possible with that. And also very proud that both of our daughters are ANR alumnus. Thank you.
Thank you, award winners, for all you do for MSU and for the college. You're great examples for all of us. At this time, I'd like to invite Dr. Suzanne Lang, Associate Dean, to the podium to begin presentations for the College of Ag and Natural Resources Distinguished Service Award.
Thanks, Sandy. Each year, the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources presents Distinguished Service Awards to individuals or partners who have made outstanding contributions to Michigan's agriculture and natural resource industries, and who possess high standards of integrity and character to positively reflect and enhance the prestige of the college. These individuals demonstrate a commitment to MSU and the college by continuing outstanding leadership and volunteerism on the state, national, or international level. As many as 3 of these awards are given each year, and 3 will be given today. Our first recipient began writing about farming in 1962 while still studying journalism at MSU. He worked at newspapers for a year before joining the staff of Michigan Farmer and rose to become editor. He then joined the staff of Good Fruit Grower in 2010 and writes about fruit production in the eastern part of North America. Our first recipient of the Distinguished Service Award goes to Richard Leonard.
I'm John Bukovac, a retiree from the Horticulture Department, and I nominated Dick Leonard for this award. He's an outstanding journalist. He has the ability to focus and change understanding of the common farmer and relate complex agricultural research and extension in a language that they can readily understand. Dick has, over the years, been a loyal supporter of our institution and the land grant mission that we are so proud of.
Please welcome Richard Leonard.
For more than 50 years now, I've had the privilege and pleasure of writing about some of the most interesting people in the world. I call them up, tell them that I want to talk to them, and I get an interview. Sometimes it's farmers. They tell me all about their farming operations, how they do it, how they make themselves successful. Sometimes they're scientists. Many of them here at Michigan State University. Some of these scientists are the best in the world, world-renowned. I am really proud to have been nominated by Dr. Bukovac, for example. He's outstanding in the horticultural world. So why do these people want to talk to me anyway? Well, the deal is pretty simple. I have to go home, write an essay, put it into the most effective information sharing mechanism that we should see anywhere in the world. No other industry in the United States shares information like this. Nobody else in the world shares information like the farmers and the scientists and agriculture in the United States. So I have really enjoyed doing that. It's been fun. The award is frosting on a very, very, very nice cake. I want to thank my wife Elaine, who's taken these snapshots of me over the years, and you saw some of those. And she takes care of things at home while I'm out traipsing about. Sometimes I get around the world. Trevor Meacham and I travel together. Anyway, I want to thank you all. It's been a great career. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to invite Dr. Kelly Millenbaugh, Associate Dean, to the podium to present the next College of Ag and Natural Resources Distinguished Service Award.
An auctioneer and realtor based in Mason, Michigan, go Bulldogs, He has established several businesses, including Sheridan Auction Service, Owasso Livestock and Sales Company, the Brokerage Land Company, and Sheraton Realty, to name a few. A 1972 graduate of Michigan State University, he was named Michigan Cattlemen Association Member of the Year last year. Our next recipient of the Distinguished Service Award is William Sheridan.
Hello, I'm Dave Hawkins, and I nominated Bill Sheridan for the Distinguished Ag Service Award. Well, Bill's really an individual that's contributed so much to Michigan agriculture during his career. He has been a marketer. He served in leadership roles both at the state and national levels, and recently was inducted into the National Auctioneers Hall of Fame. So he has quite a bit of credentials. He's also been very service-oriented in that he's helped raise scholarship money for students in animal science in the College of Agriculture. He served on the Ag Alumni Board and has really contributed a lot of leadership both at the state and national levels.
Please welcome William Sheridan.
I love it. The gal outside here told us we had 60 seconds. And I said, do you realize what I do for a living? I said, I just getting warmed up with 60 seconds. I would like to thank the College of Ag and Natural Resources for this honor. I'm very humbly accepting this honor. I know a lot of the gentlemen and ladies that have been inducted into this fraternity, and I don't understand how I can stand in that midst, but I do appreciate it. I would like to introduce to you the people that have been tolerant of my schedule throughout my career and have given me the opportunity to be with you good folks at meetings and to pursue a career in the auction industry. The first person I'd like to introduce is my best friend in the world, Sally. I'm also just delighted that my brother Larry is with us today. He's with Farm Credit Services, and I'm thankful that he stopped by. I also have Doug, my partner. I have Stacy and her husband, Doug Byers, and Neil and his wife, Katie. And they operate the Bluegrass Lawn and Landscape in Mason, one of the real up-and-coming landscape design companies throughout the state. The other two ladies that I'm going to introduce to you are a part of the team, and in our operation, it's kind of like part of the family. And I've got Melody Rouse, who is the director of our marketing operations, and I've got Dawn Cherry, who is the controller. That means she asks me where I'm writing checks. So I'm really thankful for their support, thankful that they're here. I'm going to just kind of wrap up. You know, being in the auction industry, we are charged with a great responsibility when we get behind the microphone. And that is, in many, many cases, we hold the difference for a farmer or a livestock person, the difference between being profitable or not. When we sell their loads of calves in the fall, or we sell that bull in the spring, whatever, then it's a very serious role that an auctioneer is charged with, and it can make a big, big difference in people's lives. And then down the road, it can make a big difference when we're also charged with liquidation of assets to turn it over to the next generation. It's gratifying, but it is a huge responsibility. One thing that I will close with, I had a little cliche that I used when I was traveling a lot with the National Auctioneers Association in 06 and 07. I had the privilege of being their national president, and I traveled to almost every state in the union. But the auctions are the voice of the marketplace. And the auctioneer is the sound of that voice. And the auctioneer's chant is the signature of one of the finest professions in the world. Thank you.
Now I'd like to invite Dr. Doug Bueller, Senior Associate Dean, to the podium to present the final College of Ag and Natural Resources Distinguished Service Award.
Thank you. They don't even bother preparing a script for me because it's really a great pleasure for me to be able to introduce Mr. David Smith as our final awardee here this afternoon. Our final Distinguished Service awardee. Dave is the Executive Director of the Michigan Vegetable Council, and in that role, he's really shaped that organization into one that truly represents the breadth and depth of the vegetable industry in Michigan. Dave is really someone that I would consider a consensus builder and is really has been the go-to person for the vegetable industry in this state for a long time. On a personal note, I want to recognize Dave for his long and very, very strong support of both Project Green and the overall relationship between the industry and MSU. And that's not only during good times, but also in some times when things were a little bit tough, and that means a lot to all of us. Now, I get a special pleasure because I get to actually do something a surprise. We've got an additional award or tribute that has been put into the program, and that is a tribute to Dave from the office of Representative Roger Victory. And this is signed by the governor and Senator Meekhoff as well as Representative Victory. And I'm not going to read this whole citation, but just want to pick out a few words because I think they're really important today. In special tribute, therefore, this document is signed and dedicated to congratulate Dave Smith upon the occasion of his selection for the Michigan State University College of Agriculture and Natural Resources Distinguished Service Award. We offer our best wishes and continued success. So please, the final Distinguished Service Award this afternoon goes to Mr. Dave Smith. Congratulations, Dave.
I'm Ron Goldie, and I nominated Dave Smith for the Distinguished Service Award. I nominated Dave on behalf of the MSU vegetable team because he has become a critical part of our team. He makes it to all our meetings. He gives us very sound advice, helps us work through the details, primarily of the Great Lakes Expo and what goes on there. Dave was an integral part of making the Expo what it is today. I've been to a lot of shows where I've given presentations and had to work with the people that do the behind-the-scenes things. And Dave Smith and his team make a good show great.
Please welcome Dave Smith.
Well, I just say, first of all, in deference to Garth Brooks, it's good to have friends in high places. Roger Victory is a member of our board of directors and serves in the state legislature. First, I want to thank the college and the Alumni Association for this recognition. I, too, am very humbled as I look over the name of past recipients to be on this list. I can remember coming to Farmers Week, and I still think ANR Week I think of it more as Farmers Week. I remember coming with my dad many times and thinking, wow, this is really a big deal. And if my dad were still living and could be part of this today, he would think this is a pretty big deal too, to see me up here receiving this recognition. I've had the privilege over the years with the Vegetable Council to work with some outstanding grower leaders, and appreciate that some of them are here today to share in this. And any of the accomplishments that I've been part of would not have happened without these grower leaders and many, many others from other commodity organizations and the university and so on that I've worked with. And I think also as a representative of one of the commodity groups in this state, it's also helped that we have a great partnership with Michigan State University, with the Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, and it just is all for the good of our agricultural industry. So I want to thank Ron Goldie personally for nominating me. One other special thank you, I need to thank my wife Sue for her love and support and especially her understanding over the years. Thank you, dear. And thank you again to the college and the Alumni Association for this recognition.
We had to defer one of the award announcements to try and accommodate a plane schedule. So I'd like to proceed with the Outstanding Alumnus Award. The Outstanding Alumnus Award is given to an alumnus of the College of Ag and Natural Resources who has distinguished themselves by obtaining the highest level of professional accomplishment and who possesses the highest standards of integrity and character. I'm very happy to announce that this year's recipient is Suzanne Fisher.
I'm Kimberly Weir, and I nominated Suzanne Fisher for the Outstanding Alumnus Award. Suzanne is always an inspiration to the students at the School of Packaging. She is always there to help them with resume reviews, and most recently she has even dedicated a scholarship in her name. Even though Suzanne has had a long career so far, she has a lot of time left to make an impact in this world and on the future students within the packaging discipline. And I think that having this award for her today is perfect timing for her to continue to grow within her opportunities that she will present to future students.
Unfortunately, Suzanne Fisher couldn't make it, couldn't be with us today. She had a flight delay. She was flying up from Arkansas. She just recently accepted a position as head of packaging for Sam's Club, which is a very big deal. So Catherine Reed is going to accept her award on her behalf.
We know at 8:30 this morning, Suzanne was on a tarmac waiting to take off to come here. She was in Minneapolis. She's close. She's coming to Lansing today one way or another, I think. Probably get here about 20 minutes after we're done. I have received some texts on what she wanted to say. She was so honored to be awarded and recognized in this way. And she also wanted to share how proud that she and her family is that they have recently been able to establish a scholarship in her name that will be working to encourage women in packaging, in the School of Packaging. So she is really delighted to see where that will go and where the women who receive that award will end up in their careers. She also, this is a little unconventional, she wants to see what the audience would have looked like. So I got my cell phone, I'm going to be taking a picture, I'm going to scan the crowd, we'll do a panorama, and then I'd like to do a second one where you all wave. So just, and of course I had this all set up right before I got up here and then it timed out. Okay, so we're going to start at this side of the room and we'll let her see everyone. And thanks for indulging her on this moment. Okay, and now everyone wave, please. Thank you.
So thank you all for attending today. I'd like to thank Drs. Bueller and Millenbaugh and Lang. Thank you Provost Hewitt, and thank you Dean Poston. I'd like to thank all of our Distinguished Service Award recipients and Alumni Award recipients. I'd like to give another round of applause to all of our award recipients today. As Dean Poston mentioned, this is the 100th celebration of ANR Week. We'd like to invite you to share some memories with each other and take a look at the posters. Thanks again for joining us. We look forward to having you with us again next year. Thank you.